On the night of May 31st, 2009, the crew of Air France Flight 447 reported for duty at Rio de Janeiro Galeão the same time. 216 passengers were arriving at the airport and checking in their bags for the overnight journey to Paris Charles de Gaulle. The aircraft they were flying on was a 4-year-old Airbus O330-200. Registration FGZ-CP, the A330, was a modern twin-engine, wide-body with an excellent safety record. Operating as Flight 447, this aircraft would fly northeast, across the Atlantic Ocean before touching down in France the next morning. The flight was scheduled to take about 11 hours. Up in the cockpit of the twin-engined aircraft sat 3 flight crew members. In the left-hand seat was 58-year-old Captain Marc Dubois. Dubois was an experienced pilot with more than 11,000 flying hours, nearly 1,700 of which were on the Airbus A330 Dernier. Neither his experience nor his hours would save him or anyone else on board. Joining him in the cockpit was 32-year-old First Officer Pierre Cédric Bonin. Bonin was relatively new to the A330 with just 807 hours on the type. However, he had over 2,900 total flying hours, meaning he was by no means a beginner. Sitting behind the 2 operating pilots was a relief pilot, 37-year-old First Officer David Robert. Robert would take over from each of the pilots in turn during a portion of the cruise. This would allow them to get some rest so that they would be fresh for the arrival into Paris. Robert had over 6,600 total flying hours, with 4,479 of those on the Airbus A330, making him the most experienced on the type among the 3, though the captain outranked him, as the 9 cabin crew members helped the 216 passengers settle into their seats. The baggage was loaded and the pilots completed the last of the pre-departure checks. The aircraft was loaded with 57 metric tons of fuel for the long journey east. As soon as the final checks were complete, the cabin crew closed the doors and Flight 447 was ready to go. Just before 7 o'clock that evening local time, the gate at Rio, the pilots started the planes, the radios, and did the paperwork. All appeared normal as the plane taxied out. After a short taxi, the first officer lined up on the runway and set takeoff thrust. Within moments, the plane was airborne and the captain raised the landing gear. The aircraft climbed away from Rio, passing over the brightly lit coastline before heading out over the dark waters of the South Atlantic. The aircraft was pushed back from